On the first episode of Destination Singapore, we have Siva Choy, who has been paying his dues as an entertainer for the past 35 years.
Siva tackles rock and roll from the roots down, making him a dedicated bluesman, from his laying down a cool, boldly beat to shouting out the convincing Pro J.
Blessed with a howling voice and wily charisma, Siva turns the average blues gig into a house party where people actually dance, so listen up!
People have this view outside of Singapore. A lot of Australians think it's a pretty straight, square place. They think that nothing really hip happens in Singapore. I love the blues. So like I said, every time I get back to Singapore, I'm just dying to get back on stage and play the blues. But the blues is the music that I've always really loved and will continue to play.
Nowadays, Siva is based in Perth and Singapore doesn't get to hear him sing the blues very often. Whenever he does pass through town, he's sure to play a gig at the Crazy Elephant with his backing band Crossroads. Blues jams aren't exactly the rage in Singapore, so what keeps his diehard fans coming back for more?
If you want to do the blues, you have to be very honest, and the best way is to start with your own background. That's what I do. Once you get into a song, it starts to build up. You start to feel good, the guys playing with you start to feel good, and then they start playing even better, and then that gets so good that it feeds back on you, and this thing just builds and builds and builds, which is why a lot of blues songs start off pretty like, okay, no big deal, and then they build up. So it's usually the end of the session that's got the real zing to it. The audience is extremely important when you're performing. And this is one of the strangest things about performing in Singapore. You find that generally speaking, most Singaporeans tend to be pretty reserved. When I'm playing to an expat audience, for example, Australians, Americans, Brits, you start playing and 2 minutes later, some of them are up and jumping, right? Or clapping with the music or even singing along. There's nothing like that incredible combination of musicians getting worked up as the music gets better and the audience moving along with them. The blues is fun, it's not serious music. Everybody's out there listening to the blues to have fun.
1, 2, 3.
Like most rock and rollers, Siva just wants to play good music and be heard, which keeps him digging deeper into blues, rock and roll and soul music. In fact, to this day, he remains very partial to the work of Chuck Berry and Little Richard.
I like the blues because as far as I'm concerned, it's just the right thing for me because, hey, you know, the older you get, the bolder you get, the blacker you get, the better you look, you know, the blues, so that's fine by me. Yeah.
Siva's raw showmanship has solidified his standing as the godfather of the local blues scene.
With his stand-up and boogie shows and the re-release of his legendary Why You So Like That album, who knows exactly where this might lead to, but as long as he keeps him on stage, it's got to be a good thing.
You got a new walk, you got a new talk, you got a new attitude, baby. You got a new style, you got a new smile. You living no more in the blues, girl. Now you are telling me